Okay, so today we're doing matching information. This is how matching information works. You have these informations here. You have to match them with these options here. So what we have here is jobs, physical fitness, sport administrator. Now this is main role. You have to match this job with their main role. Easiest way to break through this question type is get yourself acquainted with the accent. Acquainted in the sense that you can hear and you understand what the person is saying. But I would advise this, listen attentively and do not expect them to say the answer exactly word for word. I wouldn't really say these are strategy by the way, but one of the steps is you read the instructions carefully. The second step is you read the questions and options to understand them. These first two steps you do them before the recording starts. Then the last one you listen to the recording and match the options to the right questions.
Remember that this is a vocational training institute. We train you so that you can take up a particular kind of job. So it is important that you know the main roles of the jobs, what the work is like, and what kind of qualities you need to succeed at them. A physical fitness instructor works in health and fitness centres, preparing individual programs for ordinary members of the public. Physical fitness instructors prepare routines of exercises to suit the individual client's age and level of fitness.
Number 36 is what?
Is C.
That's good.
Sports administrators run clubs and sporting associations. Their duties include such things as booking playing fields with local councils and organising the schedule of games or events for the club. So they need good organisational skills.
What's your answer for 37?
F.
Good.
Sports psychologists spend time with professional athletes, helping them approach competition with a positive mental attitude to enable them to achieve their personal best. They do this by improving motivation and concentration, or assisting with stress management.
What's the answer for 38?
B.
That's good.
Physical education, or PE teachers, instruct young students in how to exercise, play sport, and do other recreational activities correctly and safely. PE teachers help the development of coordination, balance, posture, and flexibility, with things like simple catching and throwing skills. They are not expected to be experts in all sports, but must be able to show students the basic techniques involved in a wide range of activities.
What's your answer for 39?
G.
Good.
Recreation officers often find themselves working for local government authorities and local groups. Their aim is to raise people's awareness of healthy lifestyles and improve general fitness through arranging recreational activities for groups of all ages, from the very young to the elderly.
What's your answer for number 40?
A.
That's wrong. I want you to listen again. But first, I want to ask, what's the difference between when you've been answering all these questions and now what happened?
I think I lost its concentration.
That's good. It's good you know what happened. So please, this is what happens when you lose concentration. Let's continue. I'll take it back and start.
Recreation officers often find themselves working for local government authorities and local groups. Their aim is to raise people's awareness of healthy lifestyles and improve general fitness through arranging recreational activities for groups of all ages, from the very young to the elderly.
What's your answer for number 40?
V.
That's good. So you see, it's that simple. Regardless of your personality, if you're distracted in listening, it can create serious damage. So you don't have that luxury of let me rest a little. No. Even when the audio is not playing, you are focused. You are reading questions. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do one more question. This is another form of machine information question type. In this case, you have limited options. One of the options can be an answer to two different questions or more. Do you understand?
Yes.
So let's move on to when each type of medium could be used. I guess we could start by trying to identify the best situation for each type of media.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about whether each medium should be used with different size groups. For example, we could look at pictures and ask whether they're more useful for an individual child, a few children together, or a full class. In this case, I'd say pictures are best with individual children because they give them an opportunity to let their imaginations run wild.
Yes, I see.
Let's take tapes next. Although tapes look ideal for individual children, I feel they're best suited to small group work. This way, children don't feel isolated because they can get help from their friends.
What's the answer for 26?
B.
Okay.
Computers are the same. I think they're better with small numbers of children, and they're hardly ever useful with a whole class.
What's the answer for 27?
C.
That's wrong. So what happened?
But they said it's used by a small group, but useful for the whole class.
Okay, so I'll play it again. I want you to listen for 27.
Computers are the same. I think they're better with small numbers of children, and they're hardly ever useful with a whole class.
I think they are better, but they are
Yeah.
hardly ever useful for the whole
Yeah.
class.
I think I didn't hear the first one.
Videos, however, are ideal for use with everyone present in the class, especially when children have individual activity sheets to help them focus their minds on what's in the video.
So what's the answer to 28?
The answer is C.
And what about books? What would you recommend for them? Books are ideal for children to use by themselves. I know they're used with groups in schools, but I wouldn't recommend it.
What's your answer for 29?
A.
Other pictorial media like maps, though, are different. I'd always plan group work around those. Give the children a chance to interact and to share ideas.
I agree. Teachers often just leave maps on the wall for children to look at when they have some free time. But kids really enjoy using them for problem solving.
Yes. Different people have different ideas, I suppose.
Yeah, and different teachers recommend different tools for different age groups.
For 30, what's your answer?
It's tricky, but I will say C.
I'll play it again.
Other pictorial media like maps, though, are different. I'd always plan group work around those. Give the children a chance to interact and to share ideas.
I agree. Teachers often just leave maps on the wall for children to look at when they have some free time. But kids really enjoy using them for problem solving.
Yes. Different people have different ideas, I suppose.
Yeah, and different teachers recommend different tools for different age groups.
Okay, so what's your answer for number 30?
B.
That is correct. The key thing is, one, get acquainted with the accent, then two, listen actively. By default, you listen passively. You can be listening to someone and the next thing someone else comes and asks you, what was the last thing he said? You will say so many other things, but you will not say the last thing he said. Why? Because you have a general overview of what he's talking about, but you are not listening to him word for word. You are not actively listening to him. Okay, so that will be the end of today's class.
You will hear a guide at an art museum talking to a group of visitors. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good morning and welcome to the museum, one with a remarkable range of exhibits which I'm sure you'll enjoy. My name's Greg and I'll tell you about the various collections as we go around. But before we go, let me just give you a taste of what we have here. Well, for one thing, we have a fine collection of 20th and 21st century paintings, many by very well-known artists. I'm sure you'll recognize several of the paintings. This is the gallery that attracts the largest number of visitors, so it's best to go in early in the day before the crowds arrive. Then there are the 19th century paintings. The museum was opened in the middle of that century, and several of the artists each donated one work to get the museum started, as it were. So they're of special interest to us. We feel closer to them than to other works. The sculpture gallery has a number of fine exhibits, but I'm afraid it's currently closed for refurbishment. You'll need to come back next year to see it properly, but a number of the sculptures have been moved to other parts of the museum. Around the World is a temporary exhibition. You've probably seen something about it on TV or in the newspapers. It's created a great deal of interest because it presents objects from every continent and many countries and provides information about their social context, why they were made, who for, and so on. Then there's the collection of coins. This is what you might call a focused specialist collection because all the coins come from this country and were produced between 2,000 and 1,000 years ago. And many of them were discovered by ordinary people digging their gardens and donated to the museum. All our porcelain and glass was left to the museum by its founder when he died in 1878, and in the terms of his will, we're not allowed to add anything to that collection. He believed it was perfect in itself, and we don't see any reason to disagree.